Hey Adventure Kids, welcome to another Sunday. This week we are learning all about how Jesus called his disciples. Now you might have heard this word disciples. Basically it was just 12 of Jesus's very special friends. And I'm going to hand over to Alison now and she is going to read the story to us.
Hello Adventure Kids families, it's lovely to be with you again this morning. I hope you are all doing so well, really missing you. This morning I get to read you a story all about Jesus and his disciples, so I hope you enjoy it. Jesus lived in Capernaum, a town near Lake Galilee. There he talked to people about God and he healed the ones who were ill. News of his teaching spread quickly, and everywhere he went, crowds of people came to listen to him. One day, Jesus was walking along the shore of the lake. As usual, people crowded around him. There was a boat pulled up on the shore, owned by a fisherman called Peter and his brother Andrew. Jesus stepped into it. "Row a little way out onto the lake so I can speak to the people," said Jesus. The two men did as Jesus asked. Later, Jesus told Peter and Andrew to row further away from the shore and put out their fishing nets. "We have fished all night and caught nothing," said Peter. But they did as Jesus told them. When they began to pull in the nets, they were so full of fish, the nets were almost breaking. Peter and Andrew shouted across to two other fishermen, James and John, to come to help. Together, they filled their boats with fish. When the four men saw how many fish they'd caught, they were very frightened and knelt in front of Jesus. "Don't be afraid," said Jesus. "Come with me, and I will make you fishermen of people." Peter and Andrew, James and John, rowed back to the shore and unloaded the fish. Then they left their boats and went with Jesus on his journeys. One day, Jesus saw a rich man called Matthew. He worked for the Romans collecting taxes. The Jewish people hated the Romans who ruled them and hated their tax collectors even more. Jesus said to Matthew, "Come with me." Without saying a word, Matthew stood up and followed Jesus and the other disciples. Matthew gave a feast in his house for Jesus. Some religious people saw Jesus there. They asked Jesus' friends why such a good man sat down at a table with so many bad people. Jesus heard them. "Healthy people don't need a doctor," he said. "It's the sick who need help. I have come to ask the bad people to change their ways. The good people don't need me." One evening, Jesus walked up a high mountain and stayed there all night, praying to God. The next day, he chose the rest of his disciples. They were Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas, another James, Simon, Judas, and Judas Iscariot. With Peter, Andrew, James, John, and Matthew, these 12 men were Jesus' special friends and followers. They went everywhere with him, listened to his teachings, and watched the wonderful things that he did. He told them what God had sent him to do.
Amazing, that was a great story. Thank you so much, Alison. Now, I don't know about you, but 12 disciples seems like quite a lot. So I thought it'd be good to set myself a challenge. Do I know all the disciples' names? So here they are. Can you see them? I'm not looking, look, I'm looking away. Peter, Matthew, Simon, Andrew, Bartholomew, Peter, Simon, Matthew, Andrew, Bartholomew, Judas, Thaddeus. I've only got 7. Oh well, I tried my best. Hopefully you guys are gonna do better at remembering the story than I am at remembering the names. So, as always, we have got our 3 key points and we are gonna start off straight away with number 1. Jesus called us to be fishers of men. Now you might be thinking, not really sure about fishing or about catching men. That sounds a bit weird, Katie. Like, Please explain that to me. So, all Jesus is saying is that he wants us to go out and to tell people about Jesus. That's what his disciples did. They went out and they told other people about Jesus and about how amazing he is and how kind he is. And that's all he wants us to do. He wants us to go out and tell lots of people all about him. Point number 2. When we follow Jesus, our life gets more exciting. In the story, the disciples, they had their net out to one side, didn't they? They weren't catching any fish. And then Jesus said, what about the other side? And they said, no, we've already done that. But they did it anyway. And they caught so many fish. They had so many fish. They were all over the place. Point number 3 is that following Jesus isn't always the easiest thing, but it's definitely worth it. Sometimes life's a bit difficult, isn't it? It's a bit tricky, but when we have Jesus, it makes it a little bit easier, and it's worth it. Even if it's a bit difficult, even if maybe our friends don't know what we're doing, they're not sure about it, it's still worth it to follow Jesus. So we have got some, I think, pretty cool activities today. The first one is, if you want to, you can print out a maze, and you can start here, and then you have to find your route all the way to Jesus who's at the bottom. So grown-ups, if you want to do that, there's a little printout in the description. But the next 2 are my personal favourites. So all you need for these activities today is some card or some paper. I've got coloured ones, but if you've only got white, then that's fine. You need a pair of scissors, only to be used with a grown-up, and you need a pen. So for the first activity, you are going to need your foot. You are going to need to grab a piece of card, and you're going to put your foot. Do you think I could do it from this angle? You put your foot on the card, and you're just going to draw around your foot with your pen. Maybe ask a grown-up to help you. It's a bit tricky on your own. I got pen all over my foot, so now I'm going to have to wash it all off. Once you've drawn your foot, you can see mine is not very neat. You're going to draw some lines, and you're going to make it into the 7 days of the week. So I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because what we're going to do, we're going to get our grown-ups to write, this week I will follow Jesus by, and then draw a bubble. And then what I want you guys to do is think of something that you think is a really good way of following Jesus. So maybe you want to pray every day, or maybe you want to read your Bible every day. Maybe you want to do something kind every day. And what I want you to do is write that in this bubble. And then you're going to colour in on Monday when you do it. You're going to colour that box in. On Tuesday when you do it. On Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then you will have done a whole week of doing that thing. And you can just be really happy. And it's a good reminder, isn't it, that we can follow Jesus. And it's not difficult. There's lots of really easy ways that we follow Jesus, isn't there? And then for our next activity, you are also, I didn't tell you about this one, sorry. You're going to need a sieve. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some paper, and we're going to draw some little fishes on, and then cut them out with some scissors, get our grown-up to help us. And then on the little fishes, I want you to write the names of some people who you really want to know Jesus. So in my thing, I've got Gary, who's my cousin, who I would love to know Jesus. I've got Julia, who's my friend from university, who I'd love to know Jesus. Then I've got some of you in there who I would love to have an even better friendship with Jesus. So I've got Ada, Zahara, Eliana, Kemi. And remember, the Bible talks about fishers of men. We talked about that earlier. We said it was a bit complicated. Well, I thought we've got fish, but we've got people's names, haven't we? So put them in a net. I am a fisher of men. Get it? But in all seriousness, what I thought would be amazing is if we prayed over these people. So maybe you want to keep it probably not in your sieve because your grown-ups might need to use it, but maybe you could have a bowl or something where you keep these names, and then when maybe you're doing your nighttime prayers, you could put your hand in, pick one out and say, so I've got Raph, might say, "Dear Jesus, please help Raph, help him to know you and help him to love you." And you might pick out another person, who have I got here? Mia, you might want to say, "Lord, help Mia. Pray that you love her, and I thank you for your love for her, and I pray that you would let her know you." And you can just keep doing that. I've got Eliana, Lexi, Kemi, Joa, all these people that we can pray about, and we can say thank you for them, and we can also pray that they know God. Last thing we are going to do, as always, we are going to pray. So maybe bow your heads, close your eyes, whatever you feel comfortable with. Dear God, thank you that you have called us to follow you. Thank you that we can live our lives with you. Help us to remember to ask for help when it's hard, and to thank you for the good times. Thank you that you love and you care for us. Amen. Amazing, that is all from us this week, Adventure Kids. Let me know if you make some fish in your sieve, or if you draw around your foot. Let me know if you get pen on your foot. Hopefully you're all a little bit more sensible than me and ask someone else for help. But in any way, we would love you to get in contact with us. So send us an email, tag us on social media, message us on social media, whatever it is, we would love to hear from you. Have an amazing week, everybody. I miss you all of your families, all of you lovely preschoolers and creche. We love you, we miss you, we can't wait to hopefully see you soon. Have an amazing week. Bye.